LEGO is retiring nearly 400 sets before the end of this year. So within this list, there are some incredible LEGO investment opportunities. So in today's video, I'm going to be going through my top picks, including what I already have been and am going to continue to buy before the end of this year. Now, I'm going to be covering a full range of sets from £10 brickheads and less up to massive £500 plus LEGO Star Wars UCS behemoths. Now, recently, my LEGO investing philosophy and strategy has changed quite drastically. So I'm also going to be sharing that with you in today's video because it is definitely going to make me an all-round much better investor and hopefully get some far greater returns overall. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so we're going to start off with brickheads. Now, brickheads can be one of the most appealing LEGO investment opportunities. Now, this because they're small size, they're low cost, but most importantly, they're short shelf lives, and some of them on this list literally came out between March and June this year and are already being retired, so they've had an incredibly short shelf life, which is excellent news for us LEGO investors. So starting off with the brickheads theme is going to be the 4 Lord of the Rings brickheads. Now, I'm actually interested in buying all 4 of these sets. Now, interestingly enough, they are all 2-packs, and most of them are at £17.99, but there is one 2-pack, which is the Frodo and Gollum pack, which is only £13.49, which I think is really interesting. Now, to be honest, this is probably just because the Gollum figure in the set is quite small. But the reason why I think this is interesting is because if I try and put my mind into the consumer of more of a Lord of the Rings fan than a LEGO fan in the future, and they see these LEGO brickheads, they might think that the Frodo and Gollum set would be the same price as the other sets. So maybe with the Frodo and Gollum set, from the more of a Lord of the Rings fan than LEGO fan, we may be able to sell them to them at a higher price straight away, because they may believe that the set would be worth in the region of what the other sets are worth, which is £17.99 at retail price. Now, the other ones we have is Gandalf and Balrog. Sorry if I say any of these wrong, by the way, I don't really know a lot about Lord of the Rings. Aragorn and Arwen, Legolas and Gimli. Now, for me, I think these are all going to be pretty good buys. We don't get loads of Lord of the Rings sets, and brickheads are always, usually quite a good buy for these sorts of licensed themes, especially something like Lord of the Rings. I think for me, it's similar to, things like Star Wars, where you get fans who are really like super fans and they would love this kind of collector's item, which I'm sure it will be in the future, with some really iconic characters. Like, obviously, I don't really know anything about Lord of the Rings, like I just mentioned, but I've heard of half of these characters, so I do think that there will be quite a good demand for these sets going forward. So for me, I'm quite bullish on all of these sets. Now, at the start of this video, I did mention how my LEGO investing philosophy and strategy has changed slightly, and this is where it sort of has. So previously, I would pick a few sets per year and buy as many of those sets as I could afford. Now, luckily, my budget recently for this kind of thing has increased quite dramatically, so I can buy a lot more stuff. So rather than going harder on a few sets, I'm broadening my horizons. So yeah, I'm sure there will be some sets that I invest in that may not go up in value at all. They may even lose me money when I sell them, but that will also mean that I will be able to pick more of the gems by having a much wider range. So if you were to pound cost average what I'm doing, my returns should be nice and straightforward, rather than before, where I feel like my strategy was more go hard on a few sets. For me nowadays, my investing philosophy, and this goes for more than just LEGO, is just have safe returns. So I would compare my new LEGO investing strategy to buying bonds versus buying high risk stocks and crypto. Nowadays, I'm just happy to buy the bonds, make my 4.5% a year and leave it at that, rather than trying to make 10% or more by going for these higher risk stocks. Now, the next brickhead set that I am interested in is going to be the Prisoner of Azkaban LEGO Harry Potter set. Now, this only came out at the start of March, and personally, I think this is a really great set. Now, my partner's a massive Harry Potter fan. She loves Harry Potter, and when she first saw this brickhead set, she absolutely loved it, and we had to get it pretty much straight away. And I think that, for me, just tells me everything. So she's not necessarily into LEGO. She likes it because I like it. But the fact that she loved this set so much when it came out, that kind of says a lot to me that actually these characters are cool. I think they're quite good, and I think it is going to be one of those sets, again, especially with the short shelf life and it being a themed set, that it will go up in value quite well. Now, the next brickhead set that we're going to talk about is the Phantom Menace set. Now, this is one of the biggest, possibly the biggest brickheads pack ever. It's got 6 brickheads in, and it's only going 50 quid. And again, this set only came out in May, so we're looking at roughly a 7-month lifespan. And with all of these brickhead sets, the one thing that I do want to make clear is that if you're going to be looking at buying these sets, I know for me, when I'm doing these, You want to be making sure you're getting gift with purchases, cash back, potentially double VIP points to get that price of those sets down as low as possible. Because brickheads are exclusive to Lego, you pretty much never are going to get them on a sale, which is great because it puts everyone at a level playing field. But to really make the most of the returns on your investment, you want to be making sure you're getting extra free sets or enhanced VIP points or enhanced cashback to really make sure that you're maximizing your returns on these sets, because you're never going to be able to get them on a sale. And finally, the last brickheads is just a Tusken Raider set. Now look, it's a £10 Lego Star Wars set. I don't think it's anything iconic, but £10, it's like I was saying earlier about spreading my bets a little bit. I will probably buy anywhere between 2 to 5 of this brickhead set because it's such a low cost. And where it is that low cost, it can go up in value by sort of £5–10, and you're looking at 50 to 100% return on your investment. So at those sorts of prices, these ones are a no-brainer for me. So swiftly moving on to our next theme, which is going to be Lego Harry Potter. Now for the most part, I'm going to be leaving this theme alone, and I don't really want anything. But the one set I am interested in, other than the brickhead set I mentioned earlier, is the Hogwarts Express Collector's Edition. Now, the reason why I'm unsure on this set is actually because we don't really have any data to go on. The reason why I say this is because we've had quite a few big Harry Potter sets over the years. So we've got the Icon's Hedwig, the Hogwarts Castle, Diagon Alley, the Gringotts Bank, and I think the Hogwarts Express. I think that's all of them, unless you count the Burrow from this year, but I don't think that's quite in that same sort of price range. And none of these sets have actually retired yet. This is the first big Lego Harry Potter set since its reboot in 2018 that is actually going to be retired. So this is why I am unsure, because for the most part, Lego Harry Potter sets don't really go up in value too much. But I think the reason for this is because if we think about some of the cool sets that have retired in the past that haven't gone up in value, like I want to say one of the biggest shocks for me was the Great Hall, that was one of the first sets that was released back in, I think, 2018. It doesn't really go for much more than it used to cost back in the day, but I think that's because Harry Potter theme always sorts of just re-releases the same sets over and over again. They just seem to change the colour of the roofs every 2 years between grey and green. So this is where I'm saying that we don't really have that data. And is there enough Harry Potter fans with enough disposable income that they're going to pay even more than the £400 that the Lego Hogwarts Express already asks for? Because the Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts Collector's Edition is already the most expensive Lego Harry Potter set we've ever had. Now, I'm quite fortunate because I feel like I can do some free market research. Where I make sorts of videos on TikTok where I talk about retiring Lego sets, I made one and I spoke about the Harry Potter collection, and it got quite a lot of views. I think it's just over 100,000 views. And if you look at the comments, a lot of the comments are saying that it's just too expensive, this set already. So is there really enough of a market to be buying that set at an inflated price from £430? Now look, I'm going to be honest, I probably want to pick one up for myself by the end of the year. And it's one of those sets I've never really seen it on much of a sale, maybe 20–30 quid off at Smith's. But it's not like one of those sets where you're going to see £100–200 off at some of these retailers on, say, like Amazon Prime Day or something like that. So it's never really had too much of a sale. So I'm definitely going to be picking one up for myself. And I will probably just keep it in the box because I don't really have anywhere I want to put it at the minute. So it's kind of like a sort of investment, sort of might open it and build it one day. But that is where I'm at with the Lego Harry Potter theme. For the most part, I'm going to be passing. Now, moving on to Lego Marvel, I think there's a couple of good opportunities within Lego Marvel this year, actually. So the first thing I'm going to start off by saying is let's look at Thor's hammer from last year, which retired, and the retail price was £105. I think it was probably quite easy to get for 80 or 90 if I remember correctly. I think that's the sort of price that I picked my Thor's hammer up for. And if you look on eBay now, you're looking minimum of £160 to £180 for a new sealed set. So with this in mind, I'm going to start talking about the Captain America shield, which I think is basically like the same sort of thing. Like, yes, it's a bit more expensive, but it's the same sort of scale. It's really iconic within Marvel and the MCU, and I think it's going to go along the same sort of thing. Now, the only bad thing for me with the Captain America shield is that I didn't think about this a couple of months ago, or a month ago, or whenever it was, when it was on sale, because I know you could get them on places like Very and Smith's Toys for between, I think it was £80 and £110. Now, obviously, this is a £180 set, so at those sorts of discounts, you only need to be able to sell it for retail, and you're making nearly 100% ROI before any taxes, fees, etc. So where I stand with sets like this is that if I can only get the Captain America shield at £180, I might still buy one, but for the most part, I will leave it as a missed opportunity, and that is because I will be at such a disadvantage to other investors that I will probably have to wait for a year or two to even catch up to the same returns that they will probably be able to get from day one. So the next Lego Marvel set I want to talk about is the I Am Groot set. Now this is just a normal one, not the Venomized one. I saw it on sale, I think it was 2 days ago on Amazon Prime Day for £27. So at that sort of price range, definitely going to be picking a few of these up. I don't expect them to do necessarily like stupidly well. It's one of those where I think it can just be a solid return, especially when you're buying it at £27. I think that obviously we've got the potted dancing Groot, so I do wonder if there's going to be people that will want that set along with the bigger Groot. Now, I could be wrong, it could be the complete opposite. People might not want the bigger Groot because they're happy with just the potted Groot, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. Now, at £27 for a £45 set, I'm definitely going to be buying. I want to probably pick up about 5 of these, and I'll be looking to pick them up from around £25 to £35 price range. I will be happy with. Now, there are a couple more Lego Marvel sets, and if I'm totally honest, I'm a little bit unsure of them. So the first one I want to talk about is the Sanctum Sanctorum. Now, I think this is a great set. If we look at the previous Sanctum Sanctorum that's out and retired, that has done quite well on the secondary market. Even though there's a bigger, realistically better version out of that same model, it still fetches quite a good price now, obviously partly because of that Iron Spider minifigure being worth so much money in there. That does help it. But the Sanctum Sanctorum is obviously a great set, and I do think it can go up in value. My only concern is that I think there will be a lot of supply out on the market because it's been on sale since day one. I remember when it came out on the 1st of August, I think 2022, I remember I picked it up on the day it came out from Costco. So obviously because I bought it from Costco, it was on a discount from day one. I want to say I got it around £40 off. So obviously it has literally been on sale since the day it came out. So I do think that the supply will be quite high in the market. So we may have to wait a little longer for good returns on this set. But either way, I would still like to pick up maybe 2 or 3 of this set before the end of the year. But I currently do not have any. I'm just waiting to try and find the best deal on this set possible. Finally, there are 2 other sets I want to talk about with Lego Marvel, and that is the Star-Lord's helmet and Wolverine claw. I don't think, especially the Wolverine claw, they're going to do too expensive. I just wanted to cover these because the helmet sort of line tends to do really well overall if you sort of dollar cost average the whole helmet line of sets that have retired, including Star Wars and Marvel. So with these sets, I will probably pick up a couple, especially of the Star-Lord's helmet, because it does feel like it's had a really short shelf life, if I can get them for at least £15 off. So the next theme we're going to talk about is Speed Champions. Now, this is one of my favourite themes for Lego investing because, again, they're similar to Brickheads. They're small, they're cheap, they don't have the longest shelf lives, but also these Lego cars nowadays are just so popular. Now, the first set I want to talk about is the Mercedes W12 2-pack. Before the F1 announcement about a month ago, I was really excited to get loads of these because, at least here in the UK, they were exclusive to Lego, and the only other places I've sort of found them at is more independent toy stores. So they never really ever go on sale. Yes, you can buy them on Amazon, but they're only ever sold by third-party sellers, not Amazon themselves. So I've never really seen them cheaper than maybe a couple of quid off. So it's going to be one of those where I'll probably look to buy from Lego with good gift with purchases, maybe with good cash back, and maybe with potentially double VIP points as well. But like I mentioned, with the Lego F1 announcement from, I think it's last month now, that has sort of brought me down on my expectations for the set. So if we say I was at a 10 out of 10 expectations for how well this set would do before, I'm probably at a 5 or a 6 now in regards to my expectations. So I do have a couple. I've already picked up 2 extras of this set, and I will probably pick up a few more. Originally I wanted to have 10 plus, but I think now my strategy for this set is probably to pick up between 3 and 5. Oh, and if you want to know something funny, I do also make mistakes when Lego investing. I totally forgot that because this set is older, it wasn't subject to the £5 price increase for these 2 packs of Speed Champions. So say the Aston Martin one that came out this year is £45. I thought that the Mercedes Speed Champions set was 45 quid. So I picked 2 of them up, at, it was like £39.50 each on eBay, because I thought it was a really good price. And it was only after I got them delivered that I realised that it's only a £40 set, not a £45 set. So yeah, I do also make mistakes like that sometimes. Now, annoyingly, there is one Speed Champion set that was looking like it was going to retire, and earlier in the year they were on a really good deal, and I picked up an extra 6 of them. One's just for me and the other 5 were for investing, but unfortunately it looks like the Nissan Skyline, Paul Walker's car from the Fast and Furious series, is going to be staying around at least one more year. So that is not going to be retiring, unfortunately, because I just picked up quite a few at a really good price on my Amazon business account. So with Speed Champions, my top pick is going to be the Lamborghini Countach. I think that's probably going to do the best. It's the most iconic. Even if you think about like the Countach in like the Wolf of Wall Street film, I think people are always going to want that set. Again, Speed Champions, you can always get it on sale. I've already picked up 5 of them in the last week because they were £15 at Amazon. And I'm looking at that as sort of my average price I want to be buying them at. Anywhere between anything less than £16 for the Lamborghini Countach, I'm happy with. I think it will go up in value quite a lot. And if we take the last Lamborghini set that retired, which is this, which I just picked up the other day, I spent £125 on it. This is just for my personal collection, which I'm going to keep sealed. I also have another one that I'm going to build. If I remember correctly from doing my research the other day, that is the most expensive 8-wide Speed Champion set there is. Probably only really rivaled by the Ford Bronco set, which I've also just bought and is on the way. Now, obviously, that was a 2-pack of Lamborghinis, and it retired a couple of years ago. But I think for me, it kind of shows the power of the Lamborghini brand, and that people are always going to want it. People are always going to be getting into Lego sort of later than the sets that they want. Or even maybe at this point, they just can't afford the Lamborghini Countach, and down the line, they will be able to afford it, even if it's £40. So I'm really bullish on this set. It's going to be one of my highest pickups, I think. I want to be buying 10, 20 plus of this Lamborghini Countach set. But again, realistically, probably no more than that, because like I've mentioned a couple of times in this video, I'm looking at going broader with my Lego investing, but obviously I do have a bigger budget nowadays to be buying those sorts of quantities of the sets that are my favourite picks. Now, with the rest of the Speed Champions line, I will probably pick up at least a couple of each. Again, just to hedge my bets, spread them across the theme in case any of them do really well. Yeah, I don't really like the Ferrari, the 1970 Ferrari. I don't think it looks very good. It's not a car for me. But then I also think that there could be other collectors out there who love their old vintage cars, especially Ferraris. Again, they have an amazing brand. So I will definitely be picking up a few of them as well. Right, so it's time to talk about Star Wars. Okay, Lego Star Wars is probably, if you dollar cost average it over the course of the, 25 years it's been out, it's probably the best performing Lego theme in regards to Lego investments. So of course we got to cover this. Now, unfortunately, I missed what is possibly the best investing deal of the year, and that was the Mos Eisley Cantina at John Lewis. I think it was about £100 off, and it ended a couple of weeks ago, and John Lewis seems to be out of stock like everywhere now. Now, I can't believe I missed that. I meant to get some, but I was away and just forgot to do it. So again, my problem with the Cantina is that if I buy it now at the £350 price point, again, I'm just at such a big disadvantage to the other sellers who are able to pick it up at that discount at John Lewis. So if I do see this on any sort of discount, I'll probably pick up a couple, or maybe on Black Friday if there's double VIP points mixed with maybe a good cashback deal and a good Lego Star Wars or other promo that's worth a bit of money, then I'll definitely consider picking up 1 or 2 from there as well. But I think the set that I'm most interested to see the performance in now is going to be the UCS 8080. I think over a long enough hold, this is going to do amazing. I can't really see why they would ever, at least within the next 5 to 10 years, why they would ever re-release a set like this in this size, being an 8080. I want to say it's the most expensive Lego set we've ever had released at retail. It's over £700. It does go on sale sometimes, so again, I'll be looking to pick up one of these on sale. But I do think it will go up in value. I think we will see it cross the £1,000 mark within a few years. I do think a lot of people will be picking this set up, but again, where it is just so expensive, it's just going to price so many people out of the market to at least be picking up multiple of this set as an investment. So I think this is going to be a good set, and I'm happy to pick up at least 1, if not maybe 2 or 3, if I can get it for a good enough deal or get enough good cashback, VIP points, etc. So the next set I want to talk about is the Ahsoka Battle Pack. I've bought a couple of these already. I think I've got 5 or 6. I'm going to look to continue to buy more. Again, looking at them on a sale, not really bothered buying them from Lego, cashback, all that. I'm not bothered about that. This is more of a set that I'll be looking at on places like Amazon to get it at least sort of £5 to £10 off. I'm pretty sure when I picked this up originally at Amazon the other week, when I got like the 5 or 6 that I've got, I'm pretty sure I got them for about £12 each, because it was a bulk buy deal on Amazon Business. So if you bought 5, you got them quite a discount. The next LEGO Star Wars set I wanted to talk about was the UCS Luke's Land Speeder. I know they've obviously made a lot of small ones over the time, but I think this is quite a cool set. So again, if I can get it with a decent amount of money off, probably looking at least 20% off, or various cashback, gift for purchase, VIP points, etc., then I'll be looking at probably just to pick up one of these, because I'm not entirely sure on it. I think it will do okay. I think it will go up in value, but I don't think it's going to do anything crazy. So I will probably just look up to pick up the one of this set. And finally for Star Wars is the Leia Bouche and the Commander Cody helmet. If I can get them for less than 50 quid, I'll definitely be picking a few up of each. I won't be going too crazy, because I think everyone's sort of picked up on how well the original helmet's done as investments, being the TIE Fighter and the Stormtrooper, and every other helmet set that's retired since. I don't think it's really got too much past that £100 mark, so I think there's too many people that have cottoned on to how good the helmet's done originally. So I think there'll be a lot of supply in the secondary market after it retires, but I still think it will do quite well. And again, if I can pick it up for less than £50, then I will be picking up probably 2 or 3 of each. So next up, we have LEGO Ideas. I think this is one of the biggest opportunities this year, is LEGO Ideas, because there's some brilliant sets that are going. The Office has got to be my favourite. I feel like for the popularity of The Office, it definitely passed the 10,000 votes on LEGO Ideas multiple times before it finally got made. And I do think the final set is brilliant. I actually just started building my LEGO Office set last night. I've already got a couple from John Lewis that I picked up. I think I paid about £75 each. They were on sale just over a month ago, same sort of time as the UCS Cantina. So I picked up a few of them. Great set. I would like to get more. I should have bought more when I bought them originally, but I'm going to be looking at if they go on sale again, I'll pick up more. But this is the sort of set where if I can't get it for less than £105, then I will pay the 105 and get a couple more, because I do think that The Office has such a large fan base. I think some of The Office fans are such hardcore fans. I know I've watched the whole series through multiple times, so I do think this set is going to be probably the best performing LEGO Ideas set from this year. Look, I could do a case for all of the LEGO Ideas sets, because I think they're all good in their own way, but the next set I want to talk about is the LEGO Sonic set. Now, I would like to get a couple. I might buy 1 or 2, but I think for the most part I'm staying away from this set, because I've got a super amount of nostalgia for this set, and I can't seem to, and again, with my new LEGO investing philosophy, I don't want to be using any emotions from myself, because I know I've been guilty of this in the past, to influence my investment decisions. They just need to be based on pure logic, and I'm not sure what the logic is on this Sonic set. So I will probably look to pick up 1 or 2 extras. I've already got it built just behind me down there, and it is a brilliant set. I think it also didn't help that I met the designer when I done the LEGO Inside Tour, and he was a really cool guy as well, being Sam, the same guy who designed the Transformers Bumblebee. So overall, I think I'm going to mostly stay away from Sonic, but pick up 1 or 2. Now, next up, I think the Typewriter is a brilliant set. I kind of think it's one of those sets where LEGO could have easily have gotten away with charging 300 quid for it. So from that aspect, I'm definitely interested in picking up maybe a couple if I can get them at a good price. But overall, I'm not actually massively interested in buying them as an investment, just because it's one of those where I don't really know how well it's going to do, because there's not a lot to compare it with. It's not a licensed set. It's obviously just a typewriter. I do think it's very cool. The finished model looks amazing. I do think LEGO could have got away with charging more for this set, but I don't think I'm necessarily going to be looking to go heavy on this set at all. Probably just 1 or 2. Now, next up is the A-frame cabin. It's another brilliant set. It looks fantastic, and I definitely want to be picking up 1 of this set. I might pick up 2, but I'm thinking just staying with 1. I think it will go up in value, but again, it's not a licensed set. Ideas doesn't always do the best. Some of the sets do really well, but not all of them do. So I think I will just pick up 1 of this set. Now, the other LEGO Ideas sets I think that are worth mentioning is the Fender guitar. I think it could do well. I'm not going to pick up any unless I see it on a really good deal, just because I really have no idea how well this one will do. I don't know if there's guitar enthusiasts out there that would buy this sort of thing or not. So yeah, for me, completely staying away unless I can see it for like 40% off plus. And finally, I think the last one worth mentioning is Treehouse. It probably would have been a good investment, but unfortunately, I think it's just been out for far too long. There's going to be way too much supply out there. It's a massive box to try and keep in storage as well. So I'm not interested in the Treehouse, although I will say I do think it's a great set for the price. So moving on to Lego Technic. Now, I don't think there is too much in the Lego Technic theme that I'm going to be overly interested in. But one of the sets I'm definitely interested in is the NASCAR set. So it's a £45 set. If I can get it £35 or less, I'm definitely going to be buying them. Again, if I can get it for that sort of price range, then I will probably look to buy 4 or 5 of this set. And the other one that is going in the same sort of theme is the Shelby Cobra, which is the green set, also a £45 set. Now this one does have the pullback motor. I like the car, it's really good, but the pullback motor does make me think it's maybe more of a like a kiddie sort of set, so I don't know if that will put adults off, which are obviously, you know, and when you're thinking of Lego investments, for me at least, I'm always mostly thinking that it's going to be going to adults apart from a few sets. And I don't think adults are really going to be interested in buying a Mustang Shelby with a pullback motor. So if I can get it at that £35 price again, I will probably pick up 1 or 2, but I'm not overly interested in this set. Now, the other Technic set I'm definitely interested in is the Porsche 911 RSR. So for me, this set is surprisingly popular. And where I've got that data from is my business that I run, Brickify, where I sell Lego wall mounts. And the wall mount for the RSR is really popular. It was a lot more popular than I thought it was going to be. I already have one of this set, which was actually just completely pure luck. When I went to the Lego employee store in Billund for my inside tour, they accidentally charged me twice for the RSR, which was in my shipping box. So then they asked me if I wanted a second one, which was going to be shipped separately, and I was like, well, yeah, of course. So not only did I get this set for half price, but because they messed up, they also then sent me the Dungeons and Dragons Mimic dice box thing and an Animal Crossing polybag. So if I sold that dice box, I would probably work out of paying about £30 or £40 for this Technic Porsche RSR, and considering it's a £170 set, I'm in a very good place with that. I would like to pick up another 1 or 2 if I can get them at the right price. The only problem with this set, and obviously it's a good thing for investors if you can get it at a sale, is that it's just never really on sale. I looked at it for quite a while before I bought it from the employee store, but the reason why I did buy it from there is just because it was never on sale. So that was at one of the sets at the top of my list for the Lego employee store. I think the other thing to consider is, realistically, the last time we had a large Technic Porsche retire was obviously quite a few years ago, but it was the big orange Porsche GT3 RS, and that is obviously worth a stupid amount of money. Now, maybe that is just because it was retired just before the Lego investing boom kind of happened quite a few years ago. Maybe it's not related to that at all. But for me, stuff like that is always something that I keep in mind when I'm making my investing decisions. So if I can pick up this Technic Porsche with some really good gift with purchases, cashback VIP points, then I'll probably look to pick up another 2 of this set. Now finally, I want to talk about Lego Icons. There's not too much to talk about here for me. I'm not interested in most of it. So the Loop Coaster I think is a great set, but I've got the old roller coaster from the Creator Expert line. It's actually just mine to build. It wasn't an investment, but I bought that years ago. It's still sat in the box, and every now and then I check the price on it, and it's just not really worth any more than what I paid. So I can't see any reason why the Loop Coaster would do any better. And there was a lot of other sets on the Icons, and I didn't really see them doing too well. You've got the Corvette and the Chevy Camaro, they're both sets I'm interested in because I have quite a lot of Lego cars. But I think over here in the UK, they're probably not sets that are really going to do too well, because I feel like they're much more American cars. If anyone from America's watching this, then maybe let me know your thoughts on this set. But I think for me being in the UK, I'm not interested in these because I don't think the UK is the right market for them. Now, the other Icon set, which I think could do quite well, is the Eldorado Fortress. I'm not interested in this personally because it wasn't from my era, so I don't understand it. I don't think it looks that great. And to be honest, when I'm looking at my Lego investments, I'm happy to miss out on a set that I don't think looks like a great set. I don't see the appeal of the Eldorado Fortress. Probably if I was a bit older and I grew up with the Pirates theme, and because I'm pretty sure this is just a very similar remake and updated version of an old set, then maybe I'd be a lot more interested in it. But for me, it's going to be a hard pass. The one set I definitely am interested in is the NASA Space Shuttle Discovery. Great set. I know there are loads of space fans out there. I think it's really cool. So I'll definitely probably look at picking up 2 or 3 of this set before the end of the year. To be honest, I haven't looked too much into it in regards to sales, so that is something I do need to do before I make any purchases. I always go through and try and look at the best sales it's been. So I would always recommend, if you want to know what prices sets have gone for in the past, check out Amazon. Obviously, Amazon don't always have all of the sets at sales because Amazon don't have a supply of all of the sets, especially the bigger set. But if you use a software called Keepa, which is Keepa, then you can see historic price graphs over on Amazon, which is a great way to know if sets have ever been on sale. So I will be doing this before I go and decide what my buying price is for the NASA Space Shuttle Discovery. But like I mentioned, I definitely like this set and I definitely want to be picking up a few of these before they go. Now finally, just as an honourable mention, I think the Lego Indiana Jones line could do quite well. There's been a few sets and then they've axed it. I think that could encourage some good growth on those sets over the years. But again, it's just not one of those sets I'm interested in, so I'm happy to miss out. I believe they will go up in value, but for me, I am going to pass on these sets. So obviously, I've covered quite a lot of the themes. There are obviously a few themes I haven't covered in this video because I don't really think there's anything too special in there. But if you have any opinions on what you're going to be buying and you want to share it with anyone, please let me know down in the comments below and make sure you subscribe for more Lego videos. And thank you very much for watching.